Welcome to Hollywood World. In this video, we're going to explore some of the most heartbreaking tales from the golden age of Hollywood. These are the stories of once revered actors who captured the hearts of millions, only to die in poverty and obscurity. Fame, fortune, and adoration don't always guarantee a happy ending, and the actors we're about to discuss are tragic proof of that. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a journey into old Hollywood's hidden history. Drop a comment below to tell us which story touched you the most. Now, let's uncover 15 Golden Age actors who died in poverty, the saddest stories you've never heard, Part 3. 1. George Reeves, known for Superman in the 1950s TV series Adventures of Superman. George Reeves rose to fame as the beloved Man of Steel in the early 1950s. Kids idolized him, and parents trusted him. But behind the cape and smile, Reeves was deeply frustrated by being typecast. Hollywood refused to see him beyond Superman. Despite the fame, his paycheck was modest. He couldn't find serious work afterward. As offers dried up, so did his savings. By the late 1950s, he was struggling financially and emotionally. On June 16, 1959, he was found dead in his home. Officially ruled a suicide, many still question the mystery surrounding his death. Regardless, George Reeves died poor and broken, a tragic end for the man who once symbolized hope. 2. Marie Prevost, known for silent films The Marriage Circle, The Godless Girl. Marie Prevost was one of the shining stars of the silent era. Known for her beauty, wit, and flapper charm, she starred in dozens of films during the 1920s. But as the talkies took over, Marie's career took a downturn. Studios lost interest in her. She struggled with depression and alcohol, and slowly her finances drained away. In the final years of her life, she couldn't even afford food. In 1937, she was found dead in her apartment. Starving and alone, Marie had been living in utter poverty. Her death shocked Hollywood, and sparked the founding of the Motion Picture Relief Fund. 3. Bobby Driscoll, known for voice of Peter Pan, Disney's golden boy in the 1940s. Bobby Driscoll was once Disney's most prized child actor. He won a juvenile Oscar and starred in several beloved films. But when he hit puberty, Disney let him go. His voice changed, and Hollywood had no more use for him. Bobby turned to drugs to numb the pain. His life spiraled out of control. By the 1960s, he was broke, homeless, and completely forgotten by the industry that once adored him. In 1968, his body was found in an abandoned tenement in New York, no ID, no funeral, no family by his side. It took over a year before anyone even realized he had died. 4. Douglas Shearer, known for Oscar-winning sound engineer, brother of actress Norma Shearer. Douglas Shearer wasn't a screen actor, but he was one of the most important behind-the-scenes figures in the golden age of Hollywood. He won 7 Academy Awards for sound recording and engineering, a pioneer of his field. But despite his monumental achievements, Douglas's later life was quietly tragic. After his peak years, the studio system changed. MGM's golden days ended, and Douglas found himself gradually pushed aside. As he aged, his skills were deemed outdated. He spent his final years in isolation and financial decline, with little industry support. When he passed away in 1971, his name was barely remembered, a sad fate for a man who helped shape the sound of classic cinema. 5. Elmo Lincoln, known for first ever on-screen Tarzan in 1918's Tarzan of the Apes. Elmo Lincoln was the very first Tarzan in Hollywood history. With his powerful physique and raw presence, he became a star of the silent film era. But fame didn't last. As talking pictures emerged, Elmo's silent-era acting style became obsolete. He was out of work and unable to find his footing in the new Hollywood. He took jobs as a miner and even worked in construction to survive. By the time he returned for small roles in Tarzan films in the 1940s, no one even recognized him. He died in 1952, largely forgotten and in poverty, a silent giant silenced by time. 6. Linda Darnell, known for Forever Amber, A Letter to Three Wives, Oscar-nominated. Linda Darnell was one of the most beautiful actresses of the 1940s, hailed for both her talent and looks. She had everything: beauty, fame, fortune. But behind the glamour was a woman plagued by insecurity and personal loss. Her career declined sharply in the 1950s. She faced financial struggles, broken relationships, and lost major roles. By the early 1960s, she was living with her former secretary, unable to afford her own place. Tragically, she died in a house fire in 1965 while trying to save others. Her death was heartbreaking, and a devastating reminder of how quickly Hollywood can forget its brightest stars. 7. Skelton Knaggs, known for villain roles in horror films like House of Dracula and Terror by Night. Skelton Knaggs had a haunting screen presence. With his sunken eyes and eerie voice, he became a go-to actor for horror films in the 1940s. But typecasting and his unique look limited his career. By the 1950s, horror was evolving, and Skelton couldn't find work. He struggled with alcoholism and health problems. Despite once being in demand, he became another name Hollywood forgot. He died in 1955 at the age of just 43, poor, sick, and alone. His body was cremated, and few even noticed he was gone. 8. Florence Lawrence, known for the first movie star, known as the Biograph Girl. Florence Lawrence was Hollywood's first true celebrity. In the early 1900s, people didn't even know actors' names, until Florence became a national sensation. But the fame was short-lived. She faced career sabotage, bad investments, and health problems. Studios dropped her, and she never recovered financially. Despite inventing ideas for modern film promotion, she died nearly penniless. In 1938, Florence took her own life using poison. Her death was a quiet end for someone who once created the very concept of movie stardom. 9. Tom Neal, known for Detour 1945, one of film noir's greatest cult classics. Tom Neal had charm, rugged looks, and promise, but his life spiraled into scandal and ruin. After a violent love triangle involving actress Barbara Payton and actor Frank Attone, Tom was blacklisted. He could no longer get work in Hollywood. His finances collapsed. Then, in a shocking twist, he was convicted of manslaughter in the 1960s. He spent time in prison, and after his release, he lived a reclusive life, working as a landscaper. He died in 1972, broke and disgraced, a haunting fall from once promising stardom. 10. Frances Farmer, known for Come and Get It 1936, Flowing Gold 1940. Frances Farmer was a brilliant actress with a rebellious spirit. She clashed with studios and refused to play the Hollywood game. Her refusal to conform led to her downfall. Diagnosed with mental illness, she was institutionalized, against her will. She was allegedly abused in psychiatric hospitals and became a symbol of lost freedom and forgotten fame. She lived her later years in obscurity, working in small community theaters. Frances died in 1970, far from the spotlight that once adored her. Her story remains one of the most tragic in all of Hollywood history. 11. Marie Prevost, known for silent film comedies, The Racket, paid. Marie Prevost was once one of the most popular silent film actresses. Her comedic charm and beauty made her a major star in the 1920s. But her fame faded quickly when the talkies came in. Struggling with depression, alcoholism, and financial issues, Marie fell into deep poverty. She could no longer get roles, and her life spiraled. In 1937, she was found dead in her apartment, so poor that her body wasn't discovered for days. Her tragic end inspired Hollywood to form the Motion Picture Relief Fund. 12. Bobby Driscoll, known for voice of Disney's Peter Pan, Treasure Island. Bobby Driscoll was Disney's golden boy, the voice of Peter Pan and a star in many family films. But when he grew older, Hollywood abandoned him. His voice changed, his look changed, and the work stopped. He turned to drugs and crime, and his life unraveled. At just 31 years old, he died alone in an abandoned building in New York. No one claimed his body. He was buried in an unmarked pauper's grave. A tragic ending for a boy who once flew with pixie dust. 13. Eric Rhodes, known for The Gay Divorcee, Top Hat co-star with Fred Astaire. Eric Rhodes played the comedic foreigner in many 1930s musicals. He was funny, flamboyant, and beloved by audiences. But after the musical craze ended, so did his roles. Rhodes returned to stage acting but never regained his screen fame. He lived modestly, and by the end of his life, had very little money. He died in 1990, largely forgotten, despite being part of Hollywood's golden musicals. 14. Lyle Talbot, known for Plan 9 from Outer Space, pre-code films of the 30s. Lyle Talbot had a long and strange Hollywood career, starting with major studios and ending with bizarre sci-fi cult films. He was handsome, talented, and had range. But he never had stability. The studios kept him working, but never made him rich. By the end, he had to take any role he could find. From TV sitcom cameos to Ed Wood's infamous low-budget films. Though he kept acting until old age, Talbot died without major fortune or recognition, a workhorse Hollywood left behind. 15. Betty Hutton, known for Annie Get Your Gun, The Miracle of Morgan's Creek. Betty Hutton was explosive, a powerhouse performer with unmatched energy. In the 1940s, she was a top box office star. But behind the scenes, she battled addiction, mental illness, and abusive relationships. Her career collapsed in the 1950s. She filed for bankruptcy, lost her home, and even worked as a cook in a church rectory to survive. Her final years were spent in isolation and regret. Betty died in 2007, far from the spotlight, and far from the legacy she once built. Final thoughts. Each of these actors once stood in Hollywood's dazzling spotlight, only to fall into shadows cast by a ruthless industry that often forgets its own. Whether from mental health struggles, addiction, broken finances, or simply being cast aside with age, their ends were far removed from the glory days of fame. Let their stories serve as a somber reminder. Success in Hollywood can be fleeting, and not every star fades gently. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful or moving, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Who among these actors did you know about? And who surprised you the most? Join us next time as we continue to uncover the lost, the hidden, and the heartbreaking tales of old Hollywood. Until then, this is Hollywood World, signing off.